Before we begin, a friendly reminder to subscribe to the Healthy Life at 60 channel. We're here to help you live your best life. Hello, dear ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Nguyen Hu Tam, a geriatric health consultant with over 20 years of experience in internal medicine and traditional medicine. If you're hearing my voice today, I want to congratulate you. It means you're still sharp enough to listen to something important. Our livers are quietly carrying a much heavier burden than we realize. I've met hundreds, thousands of patients. They all have one thing in common. They only discovered their liver was failing once they started experiencing jaundice, chronic indigestion, persistent fatigue, and even dull pain in their right abdomen. But very few people knew that their liver had been crying out for help long before that. We just weren't listening. There's a saying I often share with my students: the liver is a silent worker. It doesn't complain, but it keeps a record. Every fatty meal, every glass of alcohol, every late night, everything is recorded. And one day, that debt is called in, leading to fatty liver disease, elevated liver enzymes, cirrhosis, and even liver cancer. But please, don't worry. In today's session, I won't be talking about medicine. I won't be promoting any supplements either. I simply want to share, as a friend or a family member, 3 incredibly affordable and easy-to-find teas that have amazing benefits. They can cleanse your liver, regenerate liver cells, reduce bad cholesterol, aid digestion, and improve overall health. These teas are especially suitable for older adults, people with a history of liver weakness, high blood pressure, diabetes, or high blood fats. You don't need to go to a pharmacy. You don't need to visit a clinic. All you need is a morning cup of tea with a few familiar ingredients. And just like that, you can give your overworked liver a much-needed break. Please, sit down with a cup of tea, and listen to me as you would a family member. Because when you learn to care for your liver properly, you're not just saving your liver, you're saving your whole old age. 1. Black bean tea, detoxifying the liver, preventing blood fats, and protecting the heart. My dear friends, if I had to choose one food that is both cheap and nutritious, and can also cool the liver, purify the blood, and fight aging, I wouldn't hesitate to choose black beans. Black beans, also known as O Dao in traditional medicine, are one of the most powerful natural remedies for the liver. They are especially beneficial for older people, those with indigestion, high liver enzymes, or people who frequently take Western medicine, smoke, or drink alcohol. Why are black beans considered a miracle food for the liver? Over my many years of practice, I once met an elderly lady, Mrs. Kuk, aged 72 from Bin Din. She had elevated liver enzymes, was constantly fatigued, had trouble sleeping, and suffered from sluggish digestion. She avoided medication because she was afraid it would heat up her liver. I simply told her, please try boiling a handful of black beans every day and drinking the water instead of plain water. Be consistent for 2 weeks and then come back to see me. When I saw her again 2 weeks later, her face was more radiant, she walked with more energy, and her sleep had significantly improved. Most importantly, her liver enzyme levels had dropped by nearly 20% without her taking a single pill. This was all thanks to black bean tea, a drink many people overlook. So, how does black bean tea work its magic? According to modern medicine, black beans are rich in antioxidants, especially anthocyanins. This powerful compound combats free radicals and prevents damage to liver cells. Free radicals are a primary cause of liver cell degeneration, which can lead to fatty liver disease, cirrhosis, or liver cancer. Black beans also contain iron, zinc, folate, and phosphorus, which help regenerate liver cells and support the immune system. The soluble fiber helps the liver work more efficiently by removing waste through bile and the intestines. Plant-based protein supports nutrient metabolism, preventing the liver from becoming overloaded while processing salty or oily foods. Furthermore, black beans help reduce bad cholesterol, a dangerous factor contributing to fatty liver disease and atherosclerosis. In other words, black beans are both a cooling agent for the liver, a scavenger for toxins in the blood, and an engineer building new liver cells. How to prepare black bean tea, the doctor's recommended method. This is the recipe I often share with my patients. Ingredients: 100 g of small, round, firm black beans. 1 liter of filtered water. Instructions. Rinse the black beans thoroughly and soak them for about 30 minutes. Roast the beans in a cast iron pan over low heat, stirring constantly until they are fragrant and the skins crack slightly without burning. Place the roasted beans and 1 liter of water into a pot. Bring to a boil, then reduce the heat to a gentle simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. Strain the liquid to drink. It can be served warm or cold. The leftover beans can be eaten with rice or used to make porridge. Dosage. Drink 300 to 500 milliliters of black bean tea daily, divided into 2 or 3 servings. Avoid drinking it immediately after a main meal to prevent diluting digestive fluids. Who should drink black bean tea daily? Older adults with signs of liver weakness, poor appetite, or unexplained fatigue. People with fatty liver disease, high liver enzymes, or liver heat from medication, alcohol, or beer. Those with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or diabetes. Inactive individuals who eat a lot of oily foods and tend to gain weight easily. People who need to detox their bodies regularly, like office workers, drivers, industrial workers, or those exposed to chemicals. This also applies to individuals who have been on long-term antibiotic treatments. A few important notes from a doctor. People with low blood pressure should not drink too much black bean tea. Stick to a maximum of 200 milliliters per day. Do not add sugar to black bean tea, as it reduces its detoxifying effect. The best time to drink it for optimal liver absorption is in the morning or early afternoon. 2. Lemon, ginger, and honey tea, boosting immunity, reducing liver fat, and revitalizing a tired liver. My dear friends, after learning about the wonderful benefits of black bean tea for cleansing and regenerating the liver, I want to introduce you to another natural remedy. It's not a prescription drug or a capsule, but a traditional recipe found in every Vietnamese kitchen: lemon, ginger, and honey tea. It seems simple, but it is a powerful lifesaver for tired livers. I often suggest this to my patients recovering from fatty liver disease, viral hepatitis, or those who simply suffer from frequent bloating and indigestion. I tell them to start their day with a warm cup of this 3-ingredient tea. Why? Because these 3 ingredients work together to cleanse the blood, boost the immune system, reduce liver inflammation, and support bile production. This, in turn, eases the burden on the liver during digestion. Let's break down each ingredient scientifically. First, lemon, a fruit rich in vitamin C and organic acids that help the liver with detoxification and neutralizing free radicals that damage cells. The peel also contains flavonoids, a group of compounds that reduce fat buildup in the liver, fight inflammation, and improve blood circulation. For the elderly, drinking warm lemon water first thing in the morning not only kickstarts the digestive system but also stimulates the liver to produce bile more effectively, reducing indigestion, insomnia, and internal heat. Next is ginger, a precious herb in traditional medicine and a powerful natural antibiotic in modern medicine. Ginger contains gingerols, which have anti-inflammatory, pain-relieving, and antibacterial properties, and they promote blood circulation. For the liver, ginger helps regulate its function, soothe spasms in the digestive system, and thus helps the liver process toxins and excess fat. In particular, ginger can increase antioxidant enzymes in the liver, which prevent cell damage caused by alcohol, Western medicine, or chemical-laden foods. Finally, honeypot, a natural sweetener that is incredibly beneficial for the liver when consumed in the right amount. Honey contains enzymes, amino acids, and vitamins like B6, B9, and C, as well as minerals like calcium, potassium, and magnesium. These nutrients nourish liver cells, promote tissue regeneration, and at the same time, soothe the nervous system and support deeper sleep. Honey also helps the body produce glycogen, a healthy energy reserve, which reduces the liver's metabolic burden, especially at night when it needs energy to regenerate. When you combine these 3 ingredients, you get a perfect remedy. Lemon cleanses, ginger fights inflammation, and honey nourishes and restores. This is not just a drink, it's a therapy for your overall health. It is particularly suitable for older adults, people with high liver enzymes, those recovering from viral hepatitis, or anyone with irregular eating habits. Preparation is simple, but must be done correctly to maximize its effectiveness. You'll need 2 yellow lemons, or green limes, a small ginger root, about 20 g, and 2 tablespoons of raw honey. Wash the lemons thoroughly. If they are organic, you can leave the skin on. Slice them thinly. Peel the ginger and slice it or lightly crush it. Boil 500 milliliters of water. Add the ginger and simmer gently for 3 to 5 minutes to release its properties. Turn off the heat and let the water cool to about 50 to 60 degrees Celsius before adding the lemon and honey. Never add honey to boiling water, as high temperatures will destroy the beneficial enzymes and may produce harmful substances. Stir well and divide the tea into 2 servings to drink throughout the day, one in the morning after waking up and the other in the afternoon around 4 to 5 p.m. I have a patient, Mr. Lamb, a 68-year-old from DA-LAT, who had stage 2 fatty liver disease, along with high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. After 3 months of consistently drinking this tea every day, combined with a reduction in fried foods and an increase in green vegetables, his test results surprised me. His liver enzyme levels dropped significantly, and the fat in his liver was reduced from stage 2 to almost normal. He told me, just making a cup of this lemon, ginger, and honey tea every morning makes my stomach feel lighter, my body warmer, and I sleep better. Of course, please remember that lemon, ginger, and honey tea is not a substitute for medication, but it is a powerful health assistant. People who take long-term Western medication, have chronic indigestion, or frequently drink alcohol should add this drink to their morning routine. If you have stomach ulcers, you should reduce the amount of lemon or consult a nutritionist. Most importantly, you must use pure, raw honey, avoiding varieties mixed with sugar or chemicals. A warm cup of tea, simple and inexpensive, can bring peace to one of the most silent and important organs in our body. It's a small gift you can give yourself every day to protect your liver, prolong your life, and proactively care for your health. 3. Fern tea with onion and garlic, powerful antioxidant, reduces liver fat, and prevents liver cancer. My dear friends, in the last 2 sections, we've explored 2 simple teas that are incredibly effective at cleansing the liver, improving digestion, and supporting heart function. However, for more severe liver damage, such as long-term fatty liver disease, early-stage cirrhosis, or a family history of liver cancer, I want to share another method. This involves combining fern tea with onion and garlic. These 3 ingredients may seem unrelated, but when used correctly, they form a powerful biological shield that protects the liver from the silent attacks of free radicals, excess fat, toxins, and bacteria. Let's start with fern, DNGX. This is a wild plant that grows abundantly in mountainous areas, by streams, or in back gardens, yet it has high nutritional and medicinal value. Ferns are rich in vitamins A, C, and some B vitamins like B2 and B3, along with minerals such as potassium, calcium, and magnesium. More importantly, they contain flavonoids, a compound with strong antioxidant properties that helps regenerate liver tissue and protects cells from mutations that can lead to cancer. Ferns can also inhibit peroxidase enzymes, which slows down lipid oxidation in the liver, thus reducing liver fat and preventing the progression of cirrhosis. In some Asian countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, and Japan, ferns are used to help treat viral hepatitis, cool the liver, and fight inflammation. Studies from Kyushu University in Japan have confirmed that fern extracts can inhibit the growth of liver cancer cells in lab mice and improve liver function after drug-induced damage. When combined with onion, a food rich in sulfur, quercetin, and flavonoids, its liver protective benefits are multiplied. In both traditional and modern medicine, onions are considered natural antibiotics that can purify the blood, reduce inflammation, lower bad cholesterol, and boost antiviral and antibacterial capabilities. Clinical studies show that quercetin in onions can inhibit the growth of liver cancer cells, prevent DNA mutations, and increase the activity of glutathione enzymes. This is an internal antioxidant that plays a crucial role in protecting the liver from chemical and toxic attacks. Onions can also help lower blood sugar, improve insulin sensitivity, and balance hormones, all of which reduce the liver's burden of regulating endocrine metabolism. And finally, garlic, a common spice but a silent warrior against cancer, bacteria, and poor immune function. The active compound allicin in garlic is a potent sulfur compound that can kill cancer cells, reduce liver inflammation, improve blood flow, and speed up the elimination of toxins from the body through sweat glands and the digestive tract. Garlic is also rich in selenium and germanium, two essential minerals that prevent liver cell damage and help repair damaged liver tissue. A study published in the journal Nutrition and Cancer found that daily garlic consumption can reduce the risk of liver cancer by up to 33% in individuals with genetic factors. Now, let's get to the preparation of this valuable remedy. First, you'll need 40 g of dried fern leaves, or a large handful of fresh leaves. A small onion, about 100 g. For crushed cloves of garlic, not young garlic. Wash the fern leaves thoroughly and drain them. You can then lightly roast them or sun-dry them for half a day to increase their warming properties and remove any toxins. Peel the onion and slice it into thin rounds. Crush the garlic and let it sit in the open air for 5 to 10 minutes to activate the allicin. Add all ingredients to a pot with 700 milliliters of clean water. Bring to a boil over high heat. Once it boils, reduce the heat to a gentle simmer for about 20 minutes. Turn off the heat and let it cool naturally for 10 minutes. Strain the liquid and divide it into 2 servings to drink during the day. You can drink it warm in the morning and afternoon. Important, do not drink it late at night, as the onion and garlic can stimulate the stomach in sensitive people. I remember a special case, Mr. Tu, a 65-year-old former shipyard worker from Haiphong. He used to drink alcohol every day. When his liver enzymes were discovered to be 5 times higher than normal, he was already in the early stages of cirrhosis. Fortunately, a friend recommended this recipe, and he decided to quit drinking entirely. After 3 months of consistent use, his ultrasound and lab results showed a significant reduction in his cirrhotic nodules, and his liver enzymes returned to a safe range. Mr. Tu tearfully told me, "I never imagined that wild leaves, onions, and garlic could save me from the brink of death. Since I started drinking this tea, I sleep better, eat better, and feel as light as if a huge weight has been lifted from my chest." However, you should be aware of a few things when using this remedy. People with stomach conditions, such as gastritis or duodenal ulcers, should reduce the amount of garlic or use it under the guidance of a professional. Children under 12 and pregnant women should not use it without consultation. For the elderly, I recommend a 7-day course, followed by a 3-day break, and then repeating the cycle to avoid overstressing the body with detoxification. This tea is especially beneficial for those at high risk for liver problems, such as heavy drinkers, people on long-term medication, or those with a history of viral hepatitis. We live in an age where food and the environment are full of harmful elements. But at the same time, nature is kind enough to give us simple, effective, and inexpensive remedies. Ferns, onions, and garlic, which seem to belong only in humble meals, are the silent guards protecting the liver from countless hidden dangers. If you can make drinking tea a part of your life, not only will your liver heal, but your overall health, especially your memory, joints, and heart, will also recover day by day. A detailed tea drinking schedule for liver recovery for older adults. My dear friends, allow me to share one crucial point. Whether it's black bean tea, lemon, ginger, and honey tea, or fern, onion, and garlic tea, these are all precious natural methods. However, drinking tea without a clear schedule, without understanding your body's needs, and without controlling the dosage can sometimes do more harm than good. I've met many patients who, after hearing about a good remedy, used it in excessive amounts or at the wrong time, leading to stomach discomfort, low blood pressure, and even mild digestive issues. That's why I've dedicated this section to providing a detailed, step-by-step liver cleansing tea schedule, specifically for older adults, especially those with underlying health conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, fatty liver disease, early-stage cirrhosis, or those who have just recovered from hepatitis. First, it's crucial to choose the right time to drink your tea. The liver is most active between 1 and 3 a.m. and begins detoxifying the body around 11 p.m. Therefore, drinking detox tea early in the morning before breakfast and in the early afternoon, from 2 to 4 p.m., is optimal. This is when the liver is entering its rest cycle and is most receptive to absorbing nutrients. Second, use the right dosage for each type of tea. For black bean tea, 300 to 500 milliliters per day is sufficient, divided into 2 servings, morning and afternoon. For lemon, ginger, and honey tea, which has warming properties and stimulates digestion, the right amount is 250 to 350 milliliters per day. Avoid drinking it late at night. For fern, onion, and garlic tea, which has strong antioxidant and immune-boosting effects, it's best to follow a 7-day on, 3-day off cycle. Drink 400 to 500 milliliters each day, preferably in the morning and afternoon. If you want to combine all 3 teas into one regimen, here is my suggestion. It's a schedule that many of my elderly patients have successfully followed. Weeks 1 to 2, drink black bean tea daily. The goal is to cleanse the liver, reduce internal heat, aid digestion, and bring the liver back to a stable state. Boil 100 g of black beans daily and divide the tea into 2 cups for the morning and afternoon. Absolutely no sugar. Weeks 3 to 4, drink lemon, ginger, and honey tea. This is the phase to regenerate the liver's energy, improve sleep, boost immunity, and stabilize blood sugar. Drink 1 300 milliliters cup daily after breakfast. If you have a sensitive stomach, reduce the amount of ginger and lemon. Drink it on a full stomach. Weeks 5 to 6, drink fern, onion, and garlic tea. This is the phase for boosting immunity, deep cleansing the liver, preventing cancer, and repairing damaged liver tissue. Drink 1 400 milliliters cup daily for 7 consecutive days, then take a 3-day break. During the break, you can have a light black bean tea to maintain the cleansing effect. After completing the 6-week plan, you can continue to alternate between the 2 gentlest teas, black bean tea and lemon, ginger, and honey tea, on a 5-day on, 2-day off schedule. This ensures your liver gets continuous support without becoming dependent on one specific drink. I want to emphasize that every person's body is different. A 70-year-old lady who is inactive will have different needs than a 60-year-old gentleman who still works in the garden every day. Therefore, it is crucial to listen to your body. If you feel lighter, have better digestion, and sleep better after drinking the tea, it's a sign that your liver is grateful. However, if you feel tired, nauseous, or have mild diarrhea, stop. Take a break for a few days, then adjust the recipe. I also want to share a few important tips to keep in mind throughout the liver recovery tea regimen. Minimize foods that harm the liver, fried foods, canned foods, animal organs, too much red meat, fizzy drinks, alcohol, and cigarettes. These are all chemical burdens that tire your liver out every day. Drink enough water, a minimum of 1.5 liters of filtered water per day to help the liver and kidneys excrete toxins. Tea does not completely replace plain water. Get light exercise daily, at least 30 minutes of walking or gentle yoga to improve blood circulation and metabolism in the liver. Get enough sleep, especially between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. This is when the liver works most actively. Every hour of sleep during this time helps the body repair tissues and regulate metabolic hormones. Finally, I want to reiterate a belief that I have always held dear in my medical career: no medication is better than the change in one's own awareness and lifestyle. The teas I've shared cannot save a completely failed liver, but they can preserve and revive a liver that is weak, tired, and silently crying out for help every day. A cup of tea every morning, a little bit of perseverance, and a belief in nature is the precious gift you can give yourself. The liver doesn't ask for anything extravagant. All it needs is for us to understand it, listen to it, and care for it properly. In return, it will silently give us a healthy body, a sharp mind, and a peaceful old age. My dear friends, we have come a long way together in today's session. We've explored the simple black bean tea that purifies the blood and cools the body, the warm lemon, ginger, and honey tea that aids digestion and boosts immunity, and the powerful fern, onion, and garlic tea. These are 3 silent saviors for the liver that works tirelessly day and night. I don't know if you've noticed, but all these recipes have one thing in common: they are simple, inexpensive, and easy to make, yet their effects are profound. And that is the beauty of natural medicine, using small things to solve big problems. The liver doesn't cry out in pain like the stomach, nor does it give immediate signals like the heart, but when it is damaged, the consequences are severe and unpredictable. A weakened liver not only causes fatigue, yellowing skin, and bloating but also leads to a sluggish mind, erratic moods, and memory loss in old age. Many patients I've seen initially only had a hot liver or indigestion, but without timely attention, the prolonged consequences led to fatty liver disease, cirrhosis, and even liver cancer. Yet, with just a small change in your lifestyle, you can completely slow down or reverse this process. A simple cup of tea every morning is a concrete act of self-love. In that cup of tea is knowledge, awareness, and the proactive protection of your health instead of waiting for medicine and nurses. Especially for older people, where every pill carries a risk of side effects, safe herbal remedies are even more valuable. I once witnessed a 75-year-old lady from Bentray with stage 3 fatty liver disease and high liver enzymes. At one point, she was too tired to even stand up. She told me, "I just want to get better so I can go to the market and cook for my husband and children again." After 3 months of following a diet low in oil, practicing gentle qigong, and consistently drinking black bean and fern tea as instructed, she returned to an almost normal life. No expensive drugs were needed, no weekly hospital visits. All it took was persistence and faith in nature. Her story makes me think that we can get old, but we don't have to become weak. We can live for another 10 or 20 years, but how we live is what truly matters. After all, a person's life is not without illness. But to have a disease and know how to live with it, and to cherish your body every day, that is a kind of victory. Instead of waiting for illness to find us, why don't we proactively seek health? Instead of letting the liver silently cry for help, why don't we sit down every morning and quietly pour ourselves a cup of tea as a gesture of apology and gratitude to the liver that has silently carried our burden for a lifetime? I know that life for older people isn't easy. Cooking, worrying about children, and managing illnesses are already enough to bear. But please remember, if you don't love your body, no one else can do it for you. And if you have sat here to listen to me until the very end, I believe a seed of awareness has already been planted in your heart. If you care for it properly, that seed will grow into a healthy, sharp, and peaceful old age. So, starting tomorrow, or even this afternoon, please begin. A handful of black beans, a slice of fresh ginger, a small bunch of fern leaves, they are not hard to find. A clay pot, a kettle of boiling water, every home has them. No need to chase after medicine. No need to search for clinics. All you need to do is sit down and pour a cup of tea. And just like that, you've started to save yourself.